Welcome to History Explained, where we illuminate the past to better understand our present. I'm your guide for this weekly dose of 7 days under 7 minutes. Today is Sunday, May 25, 2025. In this week's episode, we turn to the world stage, examining the global events that unfolded over the past 7 days, and what they reveal about the shifting tides of politics, culture, and conflict. As always, we're not just reporting the news. We're placing it in historical context, because world events are never isolated. They are chapters in a story we've been writing for centuries. We begin in southern France, where the iconic Cannes Film Festival was briefly thrown into chaos by a major power outage. On May 24th, electricity failed across large parts of the Alpes-Maritimes region, including the city of Cannes itself. Authorities suspect arson may have played a role. Though the cause remains under investigation, festival organizers quickly shifted to backup systems to ensure the closing ceremony would proceed uninterrupted. It's a reminder that even in moments of cultural celebration, the fragility of infrastructure, and the specter of disruption, can transform glamour into uncertainty. The power blackout at Cannes joins a long line of historic moments where art has collided with instability, reminding us how often human creativity must persist under pressure. In Scotland that same night, another kind of upset occurred, this time in the boxing ring. Ekow Essuman defeated former world champion Josh Taylor in a stunning 12-round unanimous decision, claiming the WBO global welterweight title. Taylor, once undefeated and heralded as a generational talent, has now lost 3 fights in a row. Sports history is filled with dynasties that crumble and underdogs who rise. Essuman's victory fits that tradition perfectly, reminding us that nothing in sport, or politics, is ever truly guaranteed. Legacies are rewritten in real time. Turning our eyes skyward, NASA issued an emergency alert earlier this week in response to a series of powerful solar flares erupting from sunspot AR 4087. These X-class solar flares, among the strongest the Sun can produce, are now facing Earth, raising fears of geomagnetic storms that could interfere with satellites, power grids, and communication networks. A global solar storm drill was conducted on May 22 to assess emergency readiness. This moment recalls past solar flare events, including the infamous 1859 Carrington event, which knocked out telegraph systems across the globe. Today, with our entire economy and infrastructure riding on digital networks, the stakes are even higher. The message is clear. As our civilization becomes more technologically advanced, it also becomes more vulnerable to forces we cannot control. In Turkey, a high-stakes diplomatic exchange unfolded quietly but powerfully. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed that a large prisoner swap between Ukraine and Russia had begun. The first phase saw 390 people exchanged as part of what's being called the 1,000 for 1,000 deal. In a conflict marked by brutal trench warfare, missile strikes, and geopolitical brinkmanship, this act of negotiation signals a rare moment of cooperation, however conditional. History has seen many prisoner swaps, between Cold War rivals, between empires at war, but each one reveals something essential: that even in the darkest moments of conflict, diplomacy can flicker into view. Meanwhile, across the English Channel, the United Kingdom and the European Union edged closer to a landmark agreement to reset relations nearly a decade after Brexit. Prime Minister Keir Starmer's administration and EU negotiators are finalizing a package that includes economic collaboration, shared climate goals, and a renewed focus on defense cooperation. While the deal isn't yet complete, the tone is one of cautious optimism. This move echoes historical reconciliation efforts, from the post-World War II Marshall Plan to the 1973 UK accession to the EU. Britain's attempt to find a balanced role in European affairs continues, shaped by each generation's unique challenges and ambitions. In Washington, D.C., and across global markets, attention turned to the US dollar, which slid to a 2-week low after the House narrowly approved President Donald Trump's $3.8 trillion tax and spending package. The bill includes a significant debt ceiling increase, up to $4 trillion, to avoid a funding crisis by August. Markets remain volatile, and economists warn that ballooning debt could trigger longer-term inflation and reduced confidence in the dollar's global role. Financial historians will recognize the pattern. Whether it was the Panic of 1837, the stagflation of the 1970s, or the 2008 financial crash, Moments of economic tension often emerge not from a single decision, but from the accumulation of choices made over time. And finally, in the American heartland, another chapter of natural disaster unfolded. Between May 18th and May 21st, a series of powerful tornadoes tore through the Great Plains in Mid-South. Kansas saw multiple EF3 tornadoes, including 2 classified as tornado emergencies, as entire towns like Grinnell and Plevna were hit with devastating force. Just days earlier, the Ohio Valley had experienced a separate tornado outbreak. In the long arc of U.S. weather history, these events join a grim catalog, from the 1925 tri-state tornado to the super outbreak of 2011. As climate patterns shift and severe weather becomes more frequent, the question is not just how we rebuild, but how we prepare. From solar storms and prisoner swaps to power outages and political resets, this past week has shown us that world events are never isolated incidents. They're woven together in a web of cause and consequence, shaped by forces both human and cosmic. Each story is part of a larger narrative, a reminder that history is not just what came before us. It is what we are living through now. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of History Explained. If you found this journey meaningful, be sure to subscribe and share the episode with someone who values historical perspective in a fast-moving world. Up next, our Thursday episode, where we explore cultural insights and the traditions that continue to shape civilization. Until then, I'm your guide for History Explained, where understanding yesterday is the key to navigating tomorrow.